Gucci wakes up and discovers that he is nothing more than a disposable side character in a BL novel. To survive, he decides to team up with the man who is about to become his father's future partner and bring down Lin before tragedy strikes. But the deeper Gucci digs, the more he realizes that Lin was never driven by love. It was all part of a carefully planned scheme, and the conspiracy to destroy the Gu family had begun years ago. In the middle of a heavy rainstorm, Gucci was restrained by a group of people. No matter how hard he struggled, no one was willing to let him go. They all accused Gucci of bullying Shi Ming. Every word of his defense was ignored. The tragedy reached its peak when Gucci's father, who was confined to a wheelchair, was dragged into the chaos and collapsed right in front of him. With only a few accusations, Gucci was instantly branded the villain. No one cared about the truth. The leader coldly ordered his men to throw Gucci into the sea, as if it were the punishment he deserved. Trapped in the freezing water, Gucci fought desperately to stay afloat. All he could do was watch the darkness swallow him whole. Just as death seemed inevitable, Gucci suddenly woke up inside a car. It had all been a nightmare. Yet the fear still felt painfully real. Even worse, the same nightmare kept repeating, like a warning of the future. Before long, Gucci uncovered a shocking truth. He had transmigrated into a BL novel and was nothing more than a disposable side character. According to the story, his fate had already been written. He would be misunderstood, take the blame, and eventually meet a tragic end beneath the sea. After calming himself down, Gucci realized he had never even met Shi Ming yet. That meant there was still a chance to change everything. Determined to rewrite his destiny, he decided to stop the tragedy before the story could unfold. But the moment he stepped into the house, a mysterious man appeared before him. One glance was enough to leave Gucci speechless. The man was even more handsome than he could have imagined. Gucci quickly looked away to hide his embarrassment, while the stranger simply smiled with calm confidence. At that moment, Gucci's father unexpectedly appeared, leaving him stunned because his father was supposed to be in Europe. As the conversation continued, Gucci could not stop stealing glances at the mysterious man. Then his father casually brought up the topic of marriage. An ordinary comment instantly put Gucci on alert. A thought flashed through his mind. Could this incredibly handsome man be the blind date his father had arranged? Without thinking twice, Gucci immediately agreed, unwilling to miss the chance to get closer to him. A moment later, his father calmly introduced the man's identity. His name is Shi Ming. The instant Gucci heard that name, the smile froze on his face. This was the central character of the novel, the very person connected to the tragic fate Gucci had witnessed in his nightmare. Even more ironically, the original story had destined Shi Ming to become his future stepmother. To change his fate, Gucci realized there was only one path left: work together with Shi Ming to bring down Lin and rewrite the story. What he did not know was that the more they fought against destiny, the closer their hearts would become. Gucci froze when he realized the man standing before him was Shi Ming, the person who was about to become his future stepfather. Shi Ming simply smiled and calmly said that from now on, they would be family. To Gucci, those words felt like a death sentence. Gucci immediately objected, triggering his father's anger on the spot. Only one thought remained in his mind. If this man really was Shi Ming, then the nightmare he had seen was already beginning to come true. The image of himself sinking beneath the sea flashed through his mind again. The icy fear made it almost impossible for him to stay calm. He reminded himself that everything could still be changed. If he could stop this marriage, perhaps fate would take a different path. Unlike Gucci's panic, Shi Ming simply watched him quietly with curious eyes. The longer Gucci looked at him, the stranger it felt. The man before him was gentle and composed. Nothing like the terrifying figure from his nightmare. Even so, Gucci decided to cut off every possibility. Right in front of his father, he firmly declared that he would never accept this marriage. His father calmly replied that this decision had never required Gucci's approval. Gucci tried to explain that he was only trying to protect the family, but his words sounded like nothing more than an unreasonable protest. Just then, Shi Ming gently said that if Gucci could not accept him yet, he would prove himself through his actions over time. Instead of reassuring him, those kind words only made Gucci even more cautious. He was convinced this was the first step of the trap described in the original story. With that in mind, Gucci immediately changed his strategy. If Shi Ming could play the role of the innocent one, then he could do the same. He knelt before his father, determined to stop the marriage at any cost. However, his father calmly reminded him of the promise he had made to his late wife, and insisted that he also had the right to find happiness again. Even when Gucci warned that both of them could be in danger, no one believed him. Frustrated, Gucci finally declared that only one of them could stay in this house. His father responded with only 3 cold words: "Then leave." Gucci stormed out of the mansion in anger, while Shi Ming silently watched him disappear into the distance. Outside, Gucci met up with Xu Chen and vented about his unbelievable situation. Xu Chen thought Gucci had nothing to worry about. Even if his father remarried, Gucci would still remain the sole heir to the family business. But Gucci knew the problem had never been about money or inheritance. What he wanted to avoid was the tragic fate that had already been written. After teasing him for a while, Shu Chen suddenly asked an unusual question. For someone hoping to marry into a wealthy family, what was the most valuable thing they could have? Growing impatient, Gucci urged him to get to the point, but Shu Chen only smiled mysteriously. His answer was surprisingly simple: a spotless reputation. Gucci was taken aback before dismissing the idea as old-fashioned and unrealistic. But Shu Chen explained that sometimes a single rumor was enough to make countless high society relationships fall apart. Looking at Gucci with a meaningful smile, Shu Chen added that if Shi Ming really was his type, then perhaps Gucci should make sure Shi Ming was no longer seen as the perfect match for the marriage. Gucci immediately blushed as he realized what his friend was implying. Yet at that very moment, a bold plan also began to take shape in his mind, one that would send the story far beyond its original course. Before Gucci could stop thinking about Shu Chen's suggestion, a familiar voice suddenly called out from behind him. He turned around at once. The person standing there was none other than Shi Ming. Gucci immediately pushed Shu Chen aside and hurriedly pulled Shi Ming into a private room, worried that he might have overheard their conversation. Although he tried to remain calm, his thoughts were already in complete chaos. Gucci reassured himself that Shi Ming could not possibly know about his plan. As long as he stayed calm, everything was still under control. But instead, Shi Ming stepped closer and calmly asked why Gucci disliked him so much. Without hesitation, Gucci told Shi Ming to leave the Gu family. Whatever price Shi Ming wanted, he was willing to pay. Shi Ming simply smiled. Isn't your money your father's money as well? Can you really offer more than Mr. Gu? The question left Gucci speechless, but he still believed he held the greatest advantage. He was the only one who knew how the original story would unfold. He continued trying to negotiate, hoping money would convince Shi Ming to walk away from the Gu family. In Gucci's mind, Shi Ming was destined to end up with his childhood sweetheart. He could not believe Shi Ming truly wanted to stay with the Gu family. But Shi Ming's response was completely unexpected. He admitted that he was not interested in money. What he wanted was a partner. Shi Ming had only one goal: to bring down Linen. Gucci was stunned. The very person he had been trying to guard against had just mentioned the most dangerous name in the original story. Shi Ming calmly explained that although Linen was only an adopted son, his influence within the Gi group far surpassed Gucci's. He also pointed out that everyone constantly compared Gucci to Linen, and Gucci had never been considered the better one. Those words left Gucci with no argument. For the first time, he realized he had completely misjudged the man standing before him. Then Shi Ming made an offer. He would help Gucci remove Linen from the picture in exchange for 10% of the Gu group's shares. Gucci was astonished. The man before him was nothing like the fragile character he remembered from the novel. Even so, he refused. Getting rid of Linen alone was not worth paying such a high price. Shi Ming did not argue. He quietly took out his phone and smiled. A recording suddenly began to play. Every single word spoken by Shu Chen and Gucci at the bar was played back without missing a detail. Panicked, Gucci lunged for the phone, but Shi Ming calmly held it out of reach and looked at him with an amused smile. The corners of Shi Ming's lips lifted slightly. So, young Master Gu really likes my face that much? Gucci instantly froze, and from that very moment, their partnership began heading in a completely unexpected direction. Before Shi Ming could leave, Gucci quickly reached out and stopped him. With a single pull, the distance between them disappeared. Shi Ming lost his balance and fell into Gucci's arms, but the one who panicked was Gucci himself. Instead of pulling away, Shi Ming smiled and asked whether Gucci liked seeing him like this. Leaning in a little closer, he softly added, "If you really keep your promise, then everything is open for discussion." That one teasing remark was enough to make Gucci blush as his mind went completely blank. He forced himself to stay calm and threatened to tell his father everything, but Shi Ming only laughed in amusement. To Shi Ming, this stubborn young master was not intimidating at all. If anything, he seemed surprisingly innocent and unexpectedly endearing. Seeing Shi Ming about to leave, Gucci quickly stopped him once again. This time, he did not mention money. Instead, he asked directly why Shi Ming was so determined to challenge Linen. Gucci suddenly realized that everything was drifting further and further away from the story he remembered. Shi Ming calmly explained that he was about to take charge of the company's Swiss branch, and Linen was the biggest obstacle standing in his way. Gucci remained skeptical. The explanation sounded reasonable, but it still did not answer every question. Even so, the two of them shared the exact same objective: they both wanted to remove Linen from the Gi group. After thinking it over carefully, Gucci officially agreed to work with Shi Ming. However, he set one clear condition: their battle must never put the Gu group at risk. Shi Ming smiled, raised his glass, and accepted the agreement between them. From that moment on, two people who appeared to be rivals had quietly become secret allies. Before leaving, Shi Ming reminded Gucci to keep acting naturally in front of his father. Gucci could only nod awkwardly, trying to hide emotions that were becoming harder and harder to control. As the door closed behind Shi Ming, the room fell silent, leaving only the sound of Gucci's racing heartbeat. He kept reminding himself that Shi Ming was nothing more than a partner, and that personal feelings could never interfere with the plan. But on the other side of the door, Shi Ming was quietly evaluating Gucci as well. He realized this young master was nothing like the rumors suggested, impulsive but sincere, hot-tempered yet completely free of hidden schemes. Shi Ming decided to keep Gucci close as an important ally. And his next move would be to slowly draw Linen into the game. After parting ways with Shi Ming, Gucci sat alone in silence. But the person on his mind was not his new ally, it was Linen. In the original story, Linen was portrayed as the perfect older brother. But Gucci knew it was all just a mask. Memories from his childhood suddenly came rushing back. Years ago, Gucci had been kidnapped. After he was rescued, everyone said that old Lin, the family driver, had sacrificed his life to save him. Out of gratitude for that sacrifice, Mr. Gu brought old Lin's son, Linen, into the Gu family and raised him as one of their own. As the years passed, Linen steadily climbed the ranks of the Gu group and eventually became a respected vice president. Meanwhile, Gucci earned the reputation of a spoiled young master, and almost no one expected much from him anymore. But thanks to the memories he carried from the novel, Gucci knew the truth. The entire incident had been staged. Old Lin had secretly worked with the kidnappers. He had not died protecting Gucci at all. He had been killed after his accomplices turned against him. If Linen had been willing to live peacefully, Gucci could still have accepted him as family. But in the future, Linen would take everything from the Gu family, manipulate Shi Ming, and ultimately drag the entire family into ruin. Unable to wait any longer, Gucci immediately called his father to warn him. He tried to explain the truth behind the kidnapping and reveal Linen's hidden plan, yet it was as if an invisible force prevented the truth from being understood. His father could not make sense of anything, Gucci was saying. The call ended in frustration, leaving Gucci with no choice but to continue the plan on his own. Just then, his eyes landed on the wineglass that still carried a faint lipstick mark from Shi Ming. Gucci could not help remembering Shi Ming's smile, and before he realized it, he quietly laughed at himself. He quickly shook those thoughts away. Shi Ming was only his partner, nothing more. Gucci immediately contacted Linen's secretary to quietly gather information. Soon, a photo from a business meeting was sent to his phone. At first glance, it looked like nothing more than an ordinary corporate meeting. But then Gucci noticed one small detail that made his heart sink. The USB drive plugged into a laptop was the very one his father had once said would be entrusted to the future leader of the resort development project. Something that should have remained in his father's hands was now sitting right in front of Linen. Within seconds, every missing piece fell into place. Linen had never betrayed the Gu family because of Shi Ming. He had been secretly placing his own people inside the Gu group for years, preparing his betrayal long before anyone noticed. Shi Ming had merely become an unexpected excuse to hide Linen's true objective. Gucci immediately changed his strategy and called Linen himself. His voice was suspiciously calm as he pretended to be drunk and asked Linen to come pick him up. Without the slightest suspicion, Linen agreed right away. Gucci smiled as he ended the call. This time, he would not be the one walking into the trap. 30 minutes later, the door slowly opened. Linen stepped inside and called out Gucci's name, completely unaware that the game had already turned in Gucci's favor. Linen personally drove Gucci home, maintaining the image of a thoughtful older brother without the slightest flaw. But Gucci already knew the truth hidden behind that perfect smile. He casually brought up the resort development project while quietly watching every reaction from Linen. Linen calmly replied that he knew nothing about the project and had no authority to be involved in it. The explanation sounded perfectly reasonable. Yet it only made Gucci more certain that he had struck a nerve. After all, his father's USB drive had appeared during one of Linen's meetings, and that could not possibly be a coincidence. The car soon pulled up in front of the Gu family mansion. Gucci deliberately mentioned that his father had returned home and that he had brought someone who would soon become part of the family. When Linen learned that the man was named Shi Ming, he froze for just a brief moment. Gucci immediately realized that the surprise was genuine. These two had never met before. That only made him more curious. If they were complete strangers, why had Shi Ming chosen to target Linen? Once inside the living room, the two finally met face to face for the first time. Shi Ming calmly offered a handshake, while Linen quickly returned to his usual polite and composed manner. But the very first look they exchanged made the atmosphere unexpectedly tense. Standing nearby, Gucci could not help wondering to himself, could this really be the same instant connection described in the original story? Just then, Mr. Gu unexpectedly shifted the conversation to business. Gucci immediately volunteered to take part in the resort development project that his father had once promised to entrust to him. Linen quickly objected, arguing that Gucci lacked the experience needed to handle such an important project. But Mr. Gu had already arranged someone to support him. That person was Shi Ming. In that instant, Gucci realized this was the perfect opportunity for him and Shi Ming to work together openly, without raising anyone's suspicion. Lin tried to remain calm, but the way he quietly clenched his fist revealed his true emotions. Mr. Gu continued, saying it was finally time for his son to learn how to take over the company instead of relying on others forever. Shi Ming smiled and accepted the role, then gently praised Gucci as a smart and dependable young man. Gucci immediately blushed and hurriedly insisted that he would never call Shi Ming dad's partner. But Shi Ming's knowing smile made their new alliance seem even more dangerous than before. From this moment on, every piece on the board has begun to move. Is Lin really as innocent as he appears? Or has he been planning to betray the Gu family all along? Who do you think is the most dangerous person right now, Lin or Shi Ming? Share your theory in the comments below. If you enjoy BL stories packed with unexpected twists like this, do not forget to like and subscribe, so you won't miss the next chapter. In the next episode, the real game between Gucci, Shi Ming, and Lin will finally begin.